What is going down? What is going down? It is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you are listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. Man, do I have a show this week? Do I have a show today for you guys? Newcomers, let me just start off by saying welcome. If you're new to the podcast, man, thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us. If you're into nerd culture, and everything under that umbrella, you are in the right place. I talk about video games. I talk about anime. I talk about movies. I talk about comic books. I talk about all kind of things under that umbrella. So thank you for joining us. Today, I'm covering E3. Guys, it's been crazy. So much going on. Probably not going to be able to get to everything in this podcast. I have, a time slot I like to stay in. So I'm going to get most of the shit out of the way this week, but there's going to be some new developments. There's going to be some new things that I'm going to address, in the weeks to come. And I might even do a couple videos on my YouTube channel surrounding some of these topics, man. But for Sony not to be at this E3, I had a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? I was a little shook. I was a little worried. I'm a Sony guy first and foremost. So, I didn't know what to expect, man. I mean, I think, a lot of us out here didn't expect too much from Microsoft. And also as a Nintendo guy, a Nintendo Switch owner, man, let me just start off by saying that Nintendo, stole the fucking show. You know what I mean? We're going to get on that a little bit later, but I want to talk about some of the games that I personally am looking forward to playing. Some games that surprised me, caught me off guard a little bit, and yeah, we're going to talk about a lot of these things, man. The fucked up thing, in my opinion, about E3 though, and it's every E3, it falls into this category, is, it's a bittersweet kind of thing, man. And what I mean when I say that is you get to see certain games, but that's the sweet part. But the bitter part is when you get the release date. Or better yet, you don't get a release date. And that tells you, the game is far, far away from being, finished. So they let you know that it's existing. They let you know, that it's out there. But then, that's it. You're left, like a jaded lover in the dark. You know what I mean? As you lay there and you don't know when you're going to get to see him or her again. That's the best way, I could kind of describe it. But, all in all, though, I was pleasantly surprised by this E3. Believe it or not, with the no Sony being there. I was pleasantly surprised. There's a lot of games also, man, that we did not hear about that I was definitely expecting to hear from. And I'm a little upset, and I'm a little bit more than upset over one title. I thought we would get info on, and I scoured the internet. I scoured, I've lifted up rocks. I lifted up all kind of things, and I couldn't find shit on this company, but a fucked up single sentence Twitter comment. You know what I mean? And I thought that was insulting. I thought that was, it was borderline flagrant, for these guys to do, this to the fans of the series who are looking forward to this game. And, as a game company, man, I expected more from these guys, and I'm going to get into that as well. But anyway, let's start off with some bright spots, man, in my opinion, that I looked at and that I saw that I really, really, was looking forward to. Man, Cyberpunk 2077. Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be, I think it's safe to say that this is going to be one of the most anticipated titles to come out since, I don't even know a game to compare it to, because this is some new level shit, in my opinion, man. I mean, if you guys listen to me and you know the type of games that I like to play, first person games aren't like on the top of my list. You know what I mean? There's a few first person games that I like, but I'm more so a third person type of guy. Project CD Red is a company who, brought us The Witcher 3, which is an excellent fucking game. A game that I have still not completed yet because it's so vast, and I'm a guy who likes to just do all the side quests and all these things. So, like, there's a bookmark in that game for me. I will eventually finish it. You know what I mean? But they are an excellent company, man, not just in developing video games, but in my opinion, they are also the creme de la creme of what a game company should be as compared to how they treat their consumers. Let me give you an example. I mean, when The Witcher 3 came out, it was damn near like buying a, collector's edition. It was on the cusp of being a collector's edition, in my opinion, because they threw everything at you. You got maps, you got all kind of things associated with the game that wasn't, technically about the game. I mean, just a lot of physical stuff that you got with the game. They just made sure that the consumer was taken care of. I mean, that you had everything you needed and then more. Unlike most, video game companies now who practice, milking the consumer for everything that they fucking have. You know what I mean? Putting out a game that's incomplete, giving you, a game that's only 60, 70% complete, holding the other 30 to 40% hostage to your wallet. Shit that should already come with the game, but doesn't, that they intentionally keep out. You know what I mean? And then, when they put out a game, that you get a game, that's it. You get the game and that's all. But, Project CD Red makes sure that you have everything you need and then some. They don't leave you wanting. And then when they put out the game, there's only two versions. There's the standard version, which you already feel like is a complete version. And then you get the collector's edition, which you get, a whole bunch of other shit on top of that. So that's only two. They're not going to confuse you with, you have the standard version, then you have the collector's edition bundle number 1, and then you have the ultimate edition and all this other shit. That how can we milk the customer? How can we, what can we put out here to get more money? You know what I mean? That's what I appreciate about this company. When they had their little debut at E3, nobody saw, what was coming. Nobody saw the fact that, you know what I'm saying? Keanu Reeves was going to be in this game. Yeah, Johnny Silverhand is his name. He goes by the name Johnny Silverhand. If you're into the lore of Cyberpunk, I just think it's going to be an excellent, fantastic adventure. The world looks like it's going to be just so good, man. Everything that these guys are doing. And I know that they're going to put out a stellar product, man. I mean, I just know it. I'm trying not to, I'm trying not to get too attached to this game. I'm trying to put it in the back of my mind, and not get mentally, drained over this game, because I know it's just going to be so awesome. It's going to be a stellar event. It's going to be a fantastic experience, man. If anybody who is looking for a game, this is going to be that game that I think people are going to be talking about for years. Honestly, I'm just so excited for this game, because the company working on it is already fabulous. And then they have a beautiful track record, and I know they're not going to let the consumers down. I know it. And that's why companies like this, last a very long time. They put out a lot of content as well, a lot of it free, and it could have been, paid. The shit is so good. I mean, all the Witcher 3 stuff that came out, I mean, they're putting out damn near, complete, some of these DLCs are damn near complete games. They're whole other games. They could be sold as a $60 game. You know what I mean? And even some of the free stuff, man, was pretty robust, to say the least. But yeah, man, I mean, I can't wait to see what they got. I'm already looking at like post-launch shit, the ideas in my mind of what they maybe have planned or whatever. I think we're going to have our hands full with just the campaign, with just the first playthrough. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be a huge world. They said you're going to be bigger than The Witcher, and you know how fucking big The Witcher is. Jesus Christ. So yeah, man, very, very excited for this game. We didn't get any new, gameplay per se, but that reveal we got, had everybody on fire, man. And I think, they have something here. So let me get off of that train, man. Let me move on to some other things here. Cause yeah, it's been an interesting E3. Wolfenstein Youngbloods, not my cup of tea. I thought I'd bring it up because there's a lot of people out here who kind of, like that, Wolfenstein series. I played a Wolfenstein game before, and it wasn't bad by any stretch of the imagination. But I was just never, into that series like that. One thing I noticed with this game is that it's supposed to be a online co-op type of thing. And that pretty much, sealed the deal for me as far as, I won't be playing this. Like I said, man, there's a lot of online things that, if you're going to do it, you got to do it right, in my opinion. And I think a lot of games are just going here. A lot of companies are going to the online blueprint, to make more money. And I just don't appreciate that. And when I buy a game, also I like to, appreciate the longevity of a game. Most games that are online only, they have a shelf life. They have a expiration date, and, it's only a matter of time before, that server is done and that game is done. Then you're looking at a coaster. That's pretty much what you're looking at. You're looking at something that can never be used again. Let's move on from that game. I don't even know why I mentioned this game. I'm only trying to talk about games that I was into and that interest me. But like I said, man, I had a friend of mine who was talking about the game, and, some people actually are hyped, for some of these type of games. I'm just not one of those guys. So I just figured I'd mention it, for his enjoyment, I guess. He's probably going to, talk shit, about, what I said about the game. But, oh, well, this is just my opinion. And I'm just, I'm just keeping it real with myself, guys. You know what I mean? And I'm keeping it real with you, the listener, because you know what? That's what I'm here to do, man. I mean, that's why I started a podcast, so that I can talk about the shit that I love and hopefully, have in common with a lot of you guys out here listening. So it is what it is, I guess. Another game that, kind of piqued my interest was a game called Gods and Monsters, but, there's really no gameplay. There's a trailer, but it, like a lot of these fucking trailers, it's just a CGI type of thing where you don't get to see any real gameplay. I'm sure more will come as time progresses, but it's a game that's going to be a multi-platform game. So it's going to be available for the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and the Nintendo Switch. So I'm interested to see how this game looks. Now, graphically, it looks like they're going for kind of like a Breath of the Wild type of look, man. And the gameplay, from what people are saying, is going to, kind of mimic that. So anytime you're dealing with something like that, you got my dollar. I mean, for the most part, like I said before, I'll see, what the future holds for this game. I definitely want to see some gameplay on it, but it looks like it's going to be very interesting to play. And it's just something that caught my eye. And I don't usually like to talk about games like this that, I don't know too much about or have never seen any kind of like gameplay on, but it's just something that kind of tugged at me. I don't know I don't know another way to describe it. And, when more information comes out about this title, I would definitely be, talking about this game and covering it. But it's just something, to put in the back of your head if you guys are looking for, a open world, action RPG type of game, which, that's the genre I fucking adore. Just something I put on you guys' heads. Be looking out for Gods and Monsters coming soon, soonish. I guess there's no actual real info on it, but yeah, that's what I have for you guys on that. Another game that, it's crazy because it's a From Software game. And anytime you hear From Software, man, you know you're going to be getting a lore rich, experience. I love lore. I'm a sucker for, a lot of lore in a video game. It's going to be dark, 9 times out of 10, which is also my cup of tea. And we're talking about Elden Ring. We don't really know too much about Elden Ring. From Software does this shit. They did it with Shadows Die Twice. You know what I mean? And, they also did it with, some of the Soul series games. They give you a drop of sugar in a bucket, for somebody who's been deprived of anything sweet. They give you one drop, and just to let you know that it's there, just to let you know that candy exists in the world. Yeah. Candy's, you're not going to get any, you're not going to see any of it for miles, but it does exist out here in the world. You know what I mean? You can get to it one day. That's pretty much what they're doing, with this game, what they did with this game. They basically just gave us the name of the game. I'm hyped for it. I'm always hyped for a From Software game. So, I mean, that's all I know. That's all any of us really know about this game now. I'm sure, as time goes by, we'll get more gameplay and we'll get more, information on this game. Maybe Gamescom, we might get a little information, who knows, man. But it's in the works. So, yeah, I don't know if they have maybe a PlayStation 5 or kind of reveal, you know what I mean? Or if it's going to be like a cross-platform game as far as, the current, the future and the current, consoles. I don't know how they're going to do this game, but like I said, more information will come, and I will definitely be covering this game. Definitely. No doubt about it. Borderlands 3. Yeah, Borderlands 3. I mean, most people I know love Borderlands, or at least played Borderlands a little bit. You know what I mean? It looks pretty good. It looks really, really good. I think I'm Borderlands burnt out right now, I guess, because, I had the Hams collection recently, and I do appreciate a good game, and definitely that franchise is an excellent franchise. Lots of people that I know love that franchise. The game looks pretty good, man. I'm not going to lie. Don't know too much about this game, but it was something that needed to be addressed. You know what I mean? For the fans and for the listeners. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a big hit, I think, moving forward. So, when I get more information on that game, I will surely let you guys know. There is some gameplay out there, so you guys can check it out and judge for yourselves. But yeah, man, Borderlands 3 is a thing. It's real. It's happening. And you guys should definitely check out that game. Another game I want to talk about is The Outer Worlds. Yeah, man. And the reason why this game is kind of, it is a Bethesda game. Yeah. And as of recently, Bethesda has been shitting on people, lots of people, so there's been a lot of boo-boo in the streets in the video game world, concerning, this company. So I kind of, I feel some type of way about this one. It looks good. It definitely looks good. And I had to, put my, not be biased and put that to the side, because I think we tend to do that a lot sometimes when a company, burns us and they have a fucked up track record. We anything that they put their name on, we kind of steer away from a little bit, or we're at least weary of it. And that's unescapable. You know what I mean? You can't help but think about, the times you've been burned and you don't want to be burned again. So you're hesitant. And I'm still hesitant on this company, as I am with another company that I'm going to discuss a little bit later. Yeah, EA, I'm talking to you. Sometimes if you also got to pay attention to your heart and to your feelings and like what a game, does, for you, or if it does something to you. And this one kind of, I kind of liked it. I you know what I mean? And it's another, first person game. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they're going to have third person, but all they showed gameplay wise was first person. So I'm assuming this is going to be first person. But usually when you're talking about Bethesda, when they, do games like this, they usually give you that option for third or first person. But I didn't see a third person. So I'm going to look into that. I'm wondering, I'm anxious to know if that is going to be a third person view on this game. But I'm going with the assumption that it won't, just to be safe. But still, even as a, first person game, which I'm not the biggest fan of, I still appreciate a good game, yeah. And this one looks pretty good. I'm not going to lie. It looks pretty good. I like the weapons. I like the graphics. I like the world that, it kind of conveyed. There's some good gameplay out here, guys, that you guys can actually check out. The game is actually coming out in October. I think October 25th is the release date on this one. So, definitely something, to look into. I don't know too many games coming out in October. Not October. There's a lot of shit happening in October. Not game related, but just a lot of things happening in October. New anime series is coming out. There's all kind of shit happening in October, man. But this one is something to keep an eye on. Definitely. If you feel the same way I feel about Bethesda, especially as of late, just give this game a look. Check out, some of the gameplay, and I'm sure we'll get more as time goes by. We get closer and closer to this game. I'm definitely going to be looking at reviews and stuff on that first before I, do anything with Bethesda, and some of these other companies. I'm not going to go out there and like, day one, midnight release, I'm buying. No, I'm not going to do that. Definitely not. I'm going to wait and see. And then find out, you know what I mean? But still, definitely one that caught my attention. So I thought I'd bring it up to you guys and mention it. Now we're going to get into the meat and potato of, some of these games. Yes, we're going to get into some some interesting developments, man. And one of them being, as a Dragon Ball fan, guys, you know I had to talk about this game. You know I had to bring it up. The game is called Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, and it's supposed to be a semi-open world game. And I say semi because the worlds are separated. It's not a complete like just one fucking map type of thing. And if you're a Dragon Ball fan, you know that that makes sense because Dragon Ball Z takes place in a lot of different locations, on different planets and things of that nature. So there's no way possibly it could just be one map. So basically they're like, it's still open world because, on Earth, you have Earth, or if you're on Namek, you have Namek, all of Namek. So, you can basically fly around, it's kind of like an open world RPG, Dragon Ball, with Kakarot being the main character. It looks good to me. It looks breathtaking. The graphic style, looks very good to me. The demo that was shown was like a 11, 12 minute demo, and Goku's flying around, and it looked very good. I'm very interested. I mean, they in that demo they had a character from Dragon Ball in there, one of the androids, and I think we're going to see a lot of this type of stuff, a lot of these Easter eggs, and these characters they're paying homage to, from the Dragon Ball world in itself. And, that's something I'm interested in. When they asked the developers, how many characters are playable and things of that nature, they were kind of basically saying that it's about Goku's, journey and all of that through the game. You know what I mean? So there are other characters though, because in this demo, Piccolo was a support character. And if you go into what's the word I'm looking for? If you go into like the options, I guess, the pause screen or whatever, then, characters is one of the, selectable things you can go to. And I'm assuming that, you get access to more characters for support, throughout the game, as you go through the story or whatnot. I think most of us who are Dragon Ball fans, well, all of us who are Dragon Ball fans know how the story goes. That's probably one of the only weak points in this game because, what's going to happen. It's covering, supposedly covering all of Dragon Ball Z. That's the timeline they're going to be covering. At least that's what the devs are talking about. And, I know that, Saga, backwards and forwards. I guess, my question is, how are they going to, make the game fresh, as opposed to, what's been going on out here in recent years. But, the fight that they did have with Raditz that they showed was pretty dope. I like the way that, the game is played where you fly around, you can do side quests, and there's other generic enemies or enemies that were, that were in the world of Dragon Ball, and you can kind of go and you can kind of face them to get experience and things of that nature. And, I'm sure, upgrade your abilities and to do different things, when you're fighting. The battles look pretty fucking sick. I'm not going to lie. They really look cool. And, as a Dragon Ball fan, and I have to pick this up because this is a different style game. It's an RPG and I have to play it. I mean, I have to add this one to the collection. I'm a Dragon Ball fan. If I'm biased towards that, which I admit I am a little bit biased towards, Dragon Ball stuff. But even if I wasn't a Dragon Ball fan, this would be something I would pick up because, like I said, it's a single player, open world, adventure type of game. And I'm always down for those. And like I said, the game looks beautiful, graphically. And, they said that there's going to be, so much fucking content in this game. Like it's going to be overflowing with content. So I'm trying to figure out what that means. I don't know, what that means. I would hope that they would allow us to play other characters, in the game. And I'm still going to hope that that's going to be possible. Maybe they just, like I said, they don't want to tell us. Of course, they just debuted it, they just showed it. So, they're not going to let us know everything about the game. And also, we were supposed to get this Dragon Ball game in 2019, but we're not getting it in 2019. That's the other caveat to this title. We're getting it sometime in 2020. So yeah, that's another thing that kind of hurt a little bit. But hey, it is what it is. We got a lot of shit, guys, coming in 2020. That's that's what hurts the most. We got some dope shit coming in 2020. So yeah, 2019, you just get ready to not see it, but it is what it is. but this is one of those games. And, I think it's going to be packed to the brim with characters. How they use these characters is going to be, is going to be the mystery. That's going to be the question. Because like I said before, when he used Piccolo, as a support character, Piccolo was like his own entity. So Goku was fighting, but then every so often Piccolo would come in there and get a few licks in here and there or whatever, and then back out. And I think that's right now what support characters are going to do. Like, I don't know if you could switch over to characters or whatnot. And then you also have to keep in mind that there was a lot of time in the Dragon Ball Z series that Goku was not there. If you want to talk about the whole time that the Z Warriors were, on Earth, dealing with Vegeta and Nappa, and Goku was on his way. You can also, the same thing took place on Namek, when there was just Vegeta, there was just, a handful of guys, and Goku was, healing up in the chamber or whatnot. And there's a lot of times in Cell Saga, you can even go there, especially Cell Saga, when, he wasn't even, towards the end of that important character. It was all about Gohan. So, it's going to be interesting to see, how and what happens, especially. And then you can even go to the Buu Saga as well. There's been, like I said, there's a lot of shit. I'm wondering how they're going to address it. If Goku's the only playable character, that's going to be an issue. You're going to be missing a lot of things. And I hope they don't do it to where, okay, they go to cutscenes for those type of stuff. I hope that's not the case. But like I said, we will find out more as the game, gets closer and closer. It's not coming down until 2020. So, hey, it is what it is. There's a lot of big Doom fans out here. And, yeah, I had to mention this game. The game looks fucking awesome. I never even played the last one that came out, I think 2016, 2017, I think. I can't remember when it came out, but, definitely something I might, eventually come back around to. There's a lot of games out here, guys, and I think we all can agree that we've missed for whatever reason. Our pockets weren't right, or, for whatever. You just can't play them all, man. There's so many, you know what I mean, that I still need to get to and haven't had a chance to play. And then, when you come back around, you find them again, you reach out to them again. I mean, I just recently bought, Batman Arkham Knight, for like $6. I think they had a sale on PlayStation. So I was like, you find sales like this, you find deals like this, and you just fucking go with them. Doom looks very, very good. They're doing some online things, this time around. It's actually got a release date of November. So if you guys are looking forward to that, November 22nd is the date. It's going to be a multi-platform release as well. So they're putting it out on every system for the most part. And so everybody can have a taste. Even the Nintendo Switch, man. Yeah, because I think the last Doom came out on there as well. So yeah, everybody's going to get an opportunity to play it if you want to. And it's definitely something that if you're a fan of that series that you're definitely going to enjoy, I think. All right, here's a game that I had to bring up real quick, guys, because it caught my attention. It caught me off guard. Yeah, Watch Dogs Legion. Yeah, that game was surprisingly very fucking good, man, from what I've seen. For somebody who had a problem with the, older Watchdog games, especially the first one, it burned me on that. And then I just said, fuck the series. A lot of people out here probably feel the same way. But this one was definitely something that I didn't expect I was going to enjoy. I was like, what, another Watch Dogs game? They just don't learn, do they? And man, apparently they got something here. They're working with something, man. They really are. They have a different approach to a game that, I haven't seen. It's a fresh take on the series, man. You don't control one character. You control many. Everybody's expendable for the most part. It's a permadeath. So if your character dies, then basically you lost the member of your team forever. It's a heavy, it's heavy on recruiting. You know what I mean? And you can pretty much stake out, your potential targets, that you want to, recruit to your team, various different occupations that they possess. And you can find out all this information before you even decide if you want them or not. And it's pretty dope. You know what I mean? You can be, I've seen like old lady on here who's basically specializing in like, espionage. And then you had like, the ex-military, special forces type of guy with that background and everything in between, computer hackers, specialization in those type of things. And you can recruit all these people on your squad and put together a nice little syndicate, if you will. And if you really wanted to, they give you the freedom to kind of like just do what you want. So you can recruit all espionage type, spy characters. You can have a whole fucking gang of like old senior citizens just kind of doing shit on the low. You know what I mean? Running around here doing, shit out here in these streets. Or, you can have, a whole squad of, special ops or a whole squad of computer hackers, whatever you fucking want, or a mixture of all of them. So that's kind of dope that you can have that freedom. And, everybody has their own special, special abilities. Some are experts in weaponry. Some are experts in hand-to-hand combat, so on and so forth, man. And the story plays out, in those ways. That's what interests me in the game and had a lot of people taken aback and had a lot of people surprised. And that was probably like the surprise of the E3 for me. If I had to pick a game, because I had absolutely no intention of playing this, or no intention of being interested in this game. It was just another game on the list to me, and it completely changed the way I looked at it. You know what I mean? I'm actually looking forward to this game. I think there's no release date, so you're probably looking at 2020 sometime. Again, a game that caught me off guard. I thought I had to talk about it briefly, if at all. I had to bring it up, and you guys should definitely check it out. There is some gameplay out there on it. Definitely check it out, guys. Yeah, I really like this game. So I'm probably going to pick this one up. Yeah, I'm going to give these guys another chance, and it's going to be with this game. So we'll see how that transpires in the future. Now I have to talk about a game that, is pretty much buzzing, you know what I mean, out here in these video game streets that everybody's been talking about, especially, the comic book fans and just even the casuals, man, out here. Because it's a superhero game that hasn't been done. We're talking about Avengers. Yeah, man. Avengers is a game that everybody was anxious to, see, wanted to find out about, me included. This is a game that, how they were going to do it, because you got, Square Enix, making this, and they have they're another dope company who make excellent games. The Final Fantasy remake looks beautiful. Let me just slide that in there real quick. Yeah. That's also another 2020 release. Yeah. But anyway, back to the Avengers. That game is, I'm so excited. I'm fucking excited for this game. There's still a lot of question marks about it. There are some gripes that I have. There's an issue that I still have with the game, and that's the design, some of these characters. And, that's not going to change. One of those is going to definitely be, Captain America. I don't know what it is about Captain America, but his design is, man, it looks shitty, man. I just hate the way he looks, in this game, the vanilla build, if you will, you want to call it that. Just his outfit, everything about it. A lot of people have been bitching and moaning about, Black Widow's appearance. She looks very generic. It just bothers me, that look. I'm just like, yo, his vest, his the way his suit looks, it just looks bulky in weird places. I don't like it at all. The design of that, of that outfit, man. That's really my main gripe. Another question I had with the game is, it's going to be, it's going to have online capabilities on there. So, at first I was like, what is this going to be, an online game? Are they going to be trying to do that bullshit? And then, when I heard more, I could relax a little bit, because, I learned that, no, you can play this shit single player if you want to, offline. And then I was like, okay, cool. That's all I cared about. That's all I was worried about. Can you play it offline? Can you play single player if you want to? I didn't want to be pigeonholed into playing online, if I didn't want to. You know what I mean? Now, to have the option to play with friends is definitely dope. That's definitely an excellent thing. But also, these servers don't last forever. I'm a guy who truly believes that, a good game is also a game that you can go back to whenever, you want to. And that, put my soul at rest. But also, man, they also, to what I'm talking about as far as cosmetics of the game and how the characters look or whatnot, there is going to be a lot of customization as far as the gear and everything like that. So that put my kind of head to rest a little bit too. Now you can't change, faces. I'm just going to say, I think that, in other words, Black Widow's face is going to be her face. There's a lot of people have an issue with that. You know what I mean? But costumes and things of that nature, you can definitely change up. Now, would that include, a complete, makeover from the skin as well? I don't know. But I'm going to assume that it's not going to. But as far as Captain America is concerned and the way he looked, thank God for that, because I definitely need to put him in another suit. I can't have him looking like that, My favorite costume of his, probably all time, at least from the MCU, is definitely going to be from the Winter Soldier movie, man. I love that fucking blue and that silver. I think that's, the design is sick as fuck. I really loved everything down to the fucking blue and silver shield that he had. All of that shit was dope. If you even had, that with the red, white, and blue color palette on there, that's also acceptable for me. You know what I mean? That's the type of style that I look like. Or you can just go classic, classic style too. I don't have a problem with the classic style. But please, that shit that they were showing, that was terrible. I'm sorry. That design was straight up terrible. And that's just my opinion. Maybe you guys feel differently, but to me, it just was whack. But, all in all, there's also some gameplay that leaked. The video is out there. I'm assuming it's still out there unless they took it down, but it's not a very good video. It's only a part of the screen you can see. And then even then it's the lighting is really, really bad, but you still can see, the gameplay, a lot of the gameplay, and you can see where they're trying to go with the game. And I actually loved what I saw. I loved the way that it looked. The gameplay looked pretty good for what we had a chance to see. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more of it. And this is another game, guys, that is not coming out anytime soon. 2020 is a long way away, and we definitely have a long way to go. So I'm sure we'll get more gameplay as time goes by and as the game gets closer. And we'll go from there. A lot of people also have, reserves about the game being downgraded when it comes out for release, because, companies, they have a habit of doing that where, they play it with the tip top, graphic card, and they make sure, that they're playing it the creme de la creme. And then when it comes out, it's downgraded and things of that nature, but, like I said, from what I saw of the game, it looks great. I definitely can't wait to play it. And I can't wait for more video, more gameplay, and more information. And I'll definitely be covering this game for sure. You guys know that. Big Captain America fan, big Avenger fan. So we're going to get into that for sure. Yeah, man. Final Fantasy VII. Let me brush on that real quick, guys. That game looks breathtaking. That game looks exquisite. A lot of people are upset because they want the game to be, they're splitting the game up. In other words, 2 parts. Okay. So you're not going to get the whole complete story. And when you buy the game, they're splitting it up. Now, the caveat to that is they said that the game is so big, as opposed to what it was when it came out, back on the PlayStation, that, they had to do it that way. The game is so big, in fact, that the game is going to be on 2 fucking discs. Okay, so the game is so big that you're going to have 2 discs. That's almost unheard of, on this current generation of games. You're usually able to put everything on 1 disc, and I'm surprised they're going that route, because usually motherfuckers would just fucking put a patch on there, a 50 or 60 gig patch, and we still might get one for that, you know what I mean? But 2 discs though, and they say that the game is so huge or whatever that they had to do that. So technically it's big enough to be 1 complete game. And maybe they're right, because Final Fantasy VII was a huge fucking game even then, back then. And now with the graphical changes and all of that, I could see that, being the reason. But, only time will tell. that's pretty much all I know about the game. We didn't have a lot of gameplay. There's just a little bit of gameplay, which was enough for me to say, look, this has to be played. Even if you're not a Final Fantasy VII fan, if you're just looking for a great, RPG, this is definitely one that you should not miss. And yeah, man, I'll leave it at that. But now we have to talk about Nintendo, because Nintendo, in my opinion, they brought the fucking fire this fucking E3. They came with the shit. And yeah, man, they got me really, really excited, man, to have a Switch right now. I'm not lying to you guys. I mean, goddamn. Yeah, they got so much shit, man. I mean, let's start off with Trials of Mana. Let's start off with that. That's a 2020 release, but the game looks great. It's my style of game. It's an open world action RPG adventure game. Okay. Turn-based is cool, but I'm a real-time guy when it comes to the RPGs, man. And the Mana series has, that's what they're about. And also to put the cherry on top, man, they released a collection of Mana, which is just all the Mana games, Mana, however you want to pronounce it. And it's available now as we speak. You know what I mean? So definitely looking forward to that. Depending on what the price is going to be, I didn't have a chance to check the price. Nintendo likes to inflate prices on old games. We know this. So, unless if it's too high, I won't be fucking with it. But, sale always is, always the healing factor in those type of things. But I had to bring that up, guys. That's just one thing of many. I mean, we also got we got Spyro, the collection trilogy. That's going to be dope. I mean, that's available, I think, on all platforms, if I'm not mistaken. But it's definitely something I'd pick up for the Switch, for sure. If you like Spyro, if you don't like Spyro, it's one of those games that, anybody can pick up and play. And it's just one of those fun ass games. You know what I mean? It's just Spyro is a great series. There's also another game that looked interesting to me. It's called Rad, RAD. That game looks, interesting. It's kind of like an open world type of, action adventure. It got kind of cutesy graphics a little bit, but it's cool because you can actually, you run around, and it's a roguelike title. So if you die, it's permadeath, you play teenagers running around, and, you mutate, you come across mutations and stuff the more that you play the game, and those mutations give you different abilities, and you can spec into those and do crazy shit with it. It's definitely a game you should check out. I think, there's gameplay on it. The devs are talking about it, breaking it down. So definitely check out Rad, R-A-D, man. Just something that caught my attention. Another game, The Witcher 3 is a game that's coming out and on the Switch. Blew my fucking mind when I heard this. Don't know how they're going to do it. I had my issues with that because we all know it's going to be watered down graphically because we're talking about the Nintendo Switch. My issue with it was probably going to be like, when this game comes out, there's going to be a day one patch that you have to download to play this game. They've done it before with other games, so I just assumed that this was going to happen with this game. But word out on the street right now, I did a little research and I did a little digging, and they're claiming that this whole game is going to fit on this fucking cart. Okay, they're saying that they're able to put this whole game on this goddamn cartridge. All right, and that is a fucking feat if I've ever seen it. I don't know what these techs are out here doing out here in these these computer development streets, but if they are able to put all that on on Nintendo cart, man, all praise be to you. And then it basically brings up, why the fuck couldn't they do this with other titles? Why couldn't they do this with Resident Evil Revelations and all of that? You know what I mean? We'll wait and see. I'm going to wait and see and find out. There's got to be some kind of patch, but supposedly there's not. They're able to fit this whole game on here. You know how fucking big The Witcher 3 is, man? Do you know how fucking big that game is? It's fucking huge, man. But Nintendo blows my mind from time to time when it comes to stuff like that because, Breath of the Wild is a fucking huge game and they put all of that on one fucking disc. So if they're able to do that, then, who knows, man? I'm going to wait and see how this game transpires. I want to see a review on this title, on this version of The Witcher 3. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, man, just so many great things Nintendo has been doing. You know what I mean? I'm so excited. Another game, No More Heroes 3. Yes, and this is the No More Heroes game I've been fucking wanting. The game, because when the second No More Heroes came out, I just I wasn't feeling it, that style. You know what I mean? It was a different take on it, and I was looking forward to like the traditional, No More Heroes recipe, as far as, the third person, running around, fighting, doing those type of things. I was looking forward to that. You know what I mean? And this is what No More Heroes 3 is going to give us. It's the real sequel that I actually wanted, especially if you're a Travis Touchdown type of fan. This is the game that I'm looking for. So like I said, there's no release date. All we know is 2020, of course, but it is in the works, and I am glad to hear that. This is the one that I'll be picking up for real. So had to mention that, guys. Next game I want to talk about is, man, it's so fucking many. There's so fucking many. Oninaki. Oninaki is slated for August 22nd. It's a RPG game. I think the company who's making this is, RPG Factory. I can't remember the fucking name, but they're associated with Square Enix. Okay. Somehow. And the game just looks breathtaking. It's got its own style. There's not a lot of gameplay on it. Maybe a couple minutes at best. But it's something that I just want to play. I really want to play this game, and I will be playing this game at some point. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say I'm going to play it on release, but I am going to. It is on my wish list, and I will eventually have it in the collection. It's an open world RPG. It's got to deal with a lot of it's got to do with like limbo, the afterlife, and it kind of centers around on that a little bit. You're dealing with a lot of, undead, a lot of spirits, things of that nature. And I'm interested in the story. I want to find out, more about it. So yeah, that is definitely a game that I cannot wait to get my hands on. It's just so many good things, guys, with the Switch. Another one is Contra Anniversary Collection. That's out now. All the Contra games, the Japanese versions, the arcade versions, are available on this cart. If you love Contra, you can definitely get your fix with this. This is going to be your one-stop shop for Contra, for retro Contra, if you will. There's also another Contra game, more like in the 3D, realm of Contras, that is coming out. I can't remember the name of it. Not really. I wasn't a big fan of that version of Contra. I'm like the retro style Contra guy, but they got a lot of Contra shit coming. Okay. A lot of it is already out now, like I just mentioned. So definitely check out the Contra Anniversary Collection. That's out right fucking now. A game that, I also want to talk about, I'm going to get that one out the way. We're going to talk about Zelda. Okay. I'm not going to call it Breath of the Wild 2 because, that's not the game. That's not the name. There's no technically a name for it. They just basically told us, gave us a quick, a minute, maybe a minute and 20-second, reveal. They told us it's in development. So there's no release date anytime soon for this. I'm hoping it's not going to be too far because, they've already basically got the engine pretty much done with the first Breath of the Wild. So most of the hard work is already done for this game. Now it's just about creating the content, and for a whole new game, for the world that they've already created. So, we should be seeing this sometime in 2020. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm hoping for. And, I'm just going to keep my fingers crossed on that game. But the game looks like it's going to be a darker version. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait. What they showed us was excellent. Like I said, I'm more of I appreciate my dark lore. And this is a game that, I definitely going to get a chance to play, especially being a fan of the first Breath of the Wild game. And now looking at this one, big things coming. So guys, get ready for it. I can definitely see, this game selling like fucking hotcakes when it comes out. So yeah, be looking out for this one. Hopefully 2020 we get it. I'm going to assume holiday season-ish You know what I mean? Somewhere around there. But like I said, when we get closer to the game's release, I'll definitely be covering it and let you guys know. Next up is Luigi's Mansion 3, guys. Yes. There's so much gameplay out here now. Nintendo Treehouse, they fucking killed it. I mean, they basically gave us a lot of gameplay on a lot of these games that, we were, wanting to see. And this is one of those games, man. Luigi's Mansion 3 is definitely going to be a fucking hit. The game is beautiful, man. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Luigi's Mansion. Have it on the 3DS. I love Luigi. He's my favorite out of, Mario and Luigi. I'm a Luigi guy, yes. And I can't wait to get my hands on this game. I really can't. No release date, which is so crazy. It's slated for 2019. We do know that. But we don't have a release date for this one. That one's kind of funny. That one was a little strange. You tell us it's coming out in 2019, but you don't have a release date on it yet. So I'm going to go ahead and assume holiday season, somewhere around that time frame. That's what I'm going for. But what's cool about this game also, guys, is the fact that, you can have co-op. You can have co-op or online co-op. So you can have, somebody playing online. So there can be two of you guys. You can have somebody to help you in this game. Because Luigi's Mansion did have a little challenge to it. You know what I mean? Some of those bosses, man. But yeah, man, I'm definitely looking forward to this game. Oh my God, I can't wait. Definitely a day one pickup for me, for sure. Matter of fact, Nintendo has a lot of games, man, that I just can't fucking wait to play. Really, those are the ones that I'm looking for now, especially in summer. Like the summer, I tend to ask myself, what games in the summer, am I going to be playing, that I'm going to be buying for sure. And most of them are all fucking Nintendo Switch games. Okay. Yeah, that's keeping it real. I'm going to get onto that, but I'm having a great time talking about Nintendo right now because, they just brought their shit, man. And I'm not even finished yet. The game that I really want to talk about, the game that, there's two of them actually. One is, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. There was some new gameplay that's out, guys. You should definitely check that out. I'm really hyped for this game. There were some characters that I talked about, on older podcasts, that I was worried that wouldn't be in the game. And, there's a DLC basically confirmed, moving forward. There's 3 of them. There's a Marvel Legends DLC. There's there's X-Men DLC, and then there's also the Fantastic Four DLC. So yes, you're going to see Fantastic Four in there. I will be able to play as Thing. I cannot fucking wait. That's one of my favorite. He's one of my top characters that especially in the Marvel Ultimate Alliance world. I love playing with Thing. So I'm sure he's gonna be dope. Also, in the previews, we got to take a look at some of the other characters, man. Characters that I didn't think was going to be in the game, but they are in the game. And a couple of those are, who do we see in here? We saw, man, we got to I saw Cyclops, man. That really put my soul at ease. I got to see Cyclops in here. Beast was also in here. Now, I don't know if they're playable. They're in the story. I don't know if these guys are playable in this game because there's so many members of X-Men. So who knows what X-Men they're going to add, as DLC. But I hope that Cyclops is playable because he's one of my other favorite characters in the Marvel Universe. And he's also a guy who I love to play as in this franchise. So yeah, let's fucking hope that he's going to be in the game, when it drops. But if he's not, if he's a DLC character, fine. I just have to wait. Same thing with Beast. I love Beast. So yeah, we'll get to that, I guess. But yeah, we got a lot of other, character reveals that we saw, characters I did not know were going to be in the game. It just is chalking up to being a fantastic title, man. It really, really fucking is. And I cannot fucking wait to play this game this summer, man. July 19th, baby. July fucking 19th. Yes, there's lots of gameplay on here. So it's going to be challenging. There's some challenges in this game. It's just not going to be a pushover. And I'm very, very hyped for that. I really, really can't wait. Definitely one of my must plays of this summer. The game that I, really want to talk about was the game, in my opinion, that stole the fucking show, in my opinion, pretty much at all E3. And the game that I'm looking forward to playing the most, man, believe it or not. And it's a Nintendo game, guys. And that game is Astral Chain. I've made a mistake in the past by calling it Astral Strain. Strain and Chain for some reason get mixed up in my head for whatever reason, and I'm apologizing for that. But Astral Chain is the game, guys, that I cannot wait for August 30th. That is the release date of this game. I might as well just say September 1st. You know, they make it August, but it's technically September. This game, it's so fucking beautiful. This game it looks so good, guys. It looks so like it's going to be so fun. I'm going to platinum this game. No pun intended. Platinum Games has, gone out of their fucking way on this title, man. They gave it the same love. One thing about Platinum Games, man, they do a lot of shit with Nintendo. You know what I mean? They've done a lot of shit with Nintendo in the past, Nintendo exclusive titles, man. One of my all-time favorite games still to this day is Mad World. And that was for the Nintendo Wii. I really, really want a Mad World remake, HD. If we could please get that for the Switch, man, I think my life will be complete. But yeah, that fucking game is fucking amazing. Astral Chain, I cannot fucking wait. The game looks beautiful. It's the whole world, everything about it, it looks breathtaking. The customization is there, that it shows some new gameplay and where you can customize your character and stuff like that. That's there. The cosmetics is there. I mean, just the world itself, it is just amazing. And I can't wait to come up with my own combinations of combos and the ways that I play the game. It's going to be sick. It's definitely going to be sick, and I cannot wait to play this game, guys. There's gameplay out the wazoo on this now. You can definitely check it out. Treehouse, killed it with information we received for this game, the things that you're able to do. And, if it's a Platinum's game, that they're going to bring the shit. And this is more, they've Platinum Games have basically done, some mindless kind of action orientated games, but they've also done some, action games that were more cerebral, where you could kind of get, with a little bit more freedom and more customization in the way you want to play it. And this falls under that umbrella. This definitely falls into that umbrella. This is one you can tell that they put their heart and soul in, and they're very, very proud of, man. You can definitely tell that. And this is my most anticipated game, man, of the summer. Maybe even possibly the year. I can't think of another game that I want to play more besides Biomutant than this. This is the game. Yeah. And Biomutant, I'll get on that in a minute. But yeah, but this game, man, Astral Chain, you got to check it out, guys. If you have a Nintendo Switch and you don't have this game, you're committing a sin. You're committing an ultimate sin. You need to be locked up for life for not playing this game. I'm serious. Day one for me, easy day one for me. I cannot wait to play this game, guys. This game will probably make me go out and buy a capture card, man, because I want to do some videos on this game. I want to cover this game. Definitely. That was my shining star of E3, man. It was Astral Chain. Yes. It's the game I love, man. The game I want. And there's one other game that I am so excited to play. I had to mention this one as well, coming to the Nintendo Switch. It's something that blew my fucking socks off. And I'm talking about Panzer Dragoon. Yes, Panzer fucking Dragoon is coming to the Switch, guys. It is. It's coming this winter. It's coming this year too. So we get it this fucking year. So that's just another feather in the cap of Nintendo. To just set the fucking E3 off right. You know what I mean? And there's so many other games that's been, announced, but these are just the games that I cherry picked, that I am interested in, that I can't wait to play, that I'll be adding to the library. And there's so many more. There's so much more. If you're a Nintendo fan listening to this, then I'm sure you have some in your mind that you're probably pissed at me about for not mentioning, but I'm sorry. There's only so much time I have. And also, these are just the games that I loved. These are the games I was, looking forward to playing. So everybody has their own. That's the beauty of it. The beauty of it is that, I didn't get to everybody's wish list on Nintendo and what they brought to the table. And that's just paying homage to Nintendo for having such a robust library and so much information on so many different games, man. You know what I mean? This is where I was hoping, to get when we're talking about Nintendo. This is the place now. If you're a Nintendo fan now, you should be in a very happy fucking place right now. as far as content in games. You know what I mean? So now, I mean, it's the perfect time to grab a Switch. If you don't, or it's the perfect time to be thinking about grabbing one because, yeah, it's definitely gonna kill it, man. Nintendo killed it. They are the winner of E3 in my opinion. I'm gonna brush up on one more game, and that game is Biomutant. I talked about it a little bit, and I'm a little frustrated with THQ Nordic. That is the company who is going to be responsible for making this game. The last time we heard from these motherfuckers, honestly, was Gamescom 2018. That's the last bit of gameplay we got. It was like a 30-minute video, which we got a lot. It was a nice little piece of footage, but that's all we got. We also got a fucking a release date. They didn't give us an actual release date, but they gave us the time frame of the release date, and it was slated for the summer of 2019. So that was, my most anticipated game, man, of 2019, really, to be honest with you. I mean, it was a game that I was looking forward to playing. And no show, no love. They weren't at E3. The thing that hurts the most about this is the fact that they're giving us no information. They're giving us none. There's one tweet that they basically put out, and it was, "Hey, go check out our booth at E3, our Biomutant booth." That's it. That's all they said. And then basically it's the same demo that they had, at Gamescom 2018. Same shit. No new developments, no new nothing. The team that's working on this game is a very small team, maybe a team of a dozen people, if that. And I knew right there when they mentioned that was going to be an issue. I said, yeah, that's going to be a problem. They're hitting deadlines and all that. If you don't know behind the scenes, is hard. It's very hard depending on how big your company is. Even the big companies fuck up and they don't reach a lot of deadlines that's set for them. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of overtime. It's a lot of this and that. A lot of people getting burnt out. And I think they run into the same problem with this game, and they just don't want to fucking admit it. So they just not going to say anything. But as a fan of a series like this that you're waiting for, I mean, you want to hear something. I mean, if it's not going to be out now, at least let us know. Just be honest and upfront with us. You know what I mean? I feel like a fucking, high school chick, talking to a guy she really cares about right now, because just tell me, just be honest with me. You know what I'm saying? I can take it. But these motherfuckers don't want to play ball. They want to run around the mulberry bush. They want to play lollipop games. They want to sip on sake all day and smoke scrolls. And that's what, I think they're doing, because they're not doing the consumer due diligence. These are the people who are really looking forward to your game, who want to know more info on it. And you're pissing a lot of people off, man. Just go to Twitter and type in Biomutant, and you'll understand what I'm saying. There's a lot of frustration out there in the air, out here in these streets. And I'm one of those guys. I'm one of the people who are, frustrated. And I don't understand why they won't communicate with anybody. They're not talking to anyone. And yeah, man, I mean, definitely I'll be covering this as more time goes by, because, I think it's safe to say we're not going to be playing this game this summer. We might not even be playing this game in 2019 by the way it's going. And that's very, very sad. I think that they wrote a check that their ass couldn't cash, and now we're seeing the results of that. And they're shook, they're scrambling, they don't know how to handle it. They don't know where to turn right now. And it's evident because we're getting no information. They're talking about other games like, Kill All, Destroy All Humans, the remake, which was definitely, a pretty looking game. It's something that I would be interested in playing at one time or another, but that's not the game I came for. I came for THQ Nordic's Biomutant, and I'm still waiting on that game. And, I want the collector's edition of that game. But, I can't buy a collector's edition if I don't know the release date, you know what I mean? Or if the stores don't even have that information. So I guess we'll get to that bridge when we get to it. But I had to mention that, guys. I had to vent some frustration, with that title. And there it is. There it was. And that is the podcast, guys. You know what I mean? I've already went over an hour and damn near 10 minutes. Yeah, I really enjoyed this E3. There were a lot of surprises. Nintendo definitely stole the show, in my opinion. I'm very excited about, what's to come. The summer has a few great titles that are on the way, and most of those are Nintendo Switch games, in my opinion. I can't wait to put my hands on them. Definitely looking forward to, the Marvel Ultimate Alliance game. Definitely looking forward to, the most anticipated one out of all, which is Astral Chain. Oh my God, I can't fucking wait. Yeah, man. So, what were some of you guys' games? I would love to hear from some of you guys, man. On Twitter, I would love to hear from you. Just period. You know what I mean? I'm interested to see what you guys, what you guys got out of this E3. Is there just one game? I need to know, what is your like the game that you just can't live without? The game you just, whether it's going to be in 2020, whether it's 2019, what's one game that you just can't see yourself living without? I would love to hear that. On Twitter, catch me on Twitter at Studio MacGyver. You can catch me on Instagram at Studio MacGyver79. Also check out the YouTube channel, Studio MacGyver TV. If you're into, nerd culture, which I'm sure you are because you're listening to this podcast, and you're into, t-shirts, hats, beanies, backpacks, hoodies, all of those things, man, check out Beautiful Nerds. That's www.beautifulnerds.com. Nerds is spelled Nurdz. And with that being said, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I want to thank everybody for listening to this E3 special. I'll definitely be having more content as the weeks go by. And, breaking down some games that I missed, breaking down games that, I want to go into a little bit further, and all of that and in between, guys. So all the new listeners that basically, tuned in, I want to say thank you for joining us, man. And the guys and gals who have been down from day one, I want to tell you guys that I love you very, very much. And I will be back next week. That's right, next Monday. You can check me out as you can every Monday on all things nerd culture. With that being said, guys, you have been listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. See you next time.